All right, what's going on, Turbo Nation? Happy New Year, guys. I know I'm 6 days late, but I just decided to take a little mini break and spend some time with my family over the weekend. And I know you guys are probably wondering what happened to him, man. His tips were so good. And I know there's a lot of new subscribers. So welcome to the channel, guys. We're almost at 25,000 subscribers. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and, just watching my videos and supporting me. But anyways, guys, today is going to be the very first episode of a series that I'm planning to do called How to Get a Nuclear. And I'm going to show you guys my exact strategy on every single map out there so that I can help you guys get your nuclears a lot easier. All right, so you also get this calling card. It's called a Nuclear Killer Calling Card. It's a pretty cool little title as well. Now, last episode, I talked about the nuked out, how to get a nuked out easier, and you guys seem to enjoy that as well. So that's why I decided to start this series up to kind of help you guys out a little bit more. Today is going to be all about Stronghold. I'm going to talk about the map Stronghold, and I'm going to talk about my strategies on it and which game mode to play on and what to do and what not to do, the best class setups, etc, etc. And it's also going to be a pretty much introduction to the series. And if this first episode does really well and you guys really seem to enjoy it and you guys are showing a lot of engagement on the video, then I will continue this series. So just keep that in mind. So for class setups, I'm not going to go too in depth with class setups because I've already posted a few class setups on my channel, so I'm just gonna go over a general class setup here. So like generally speaking, when you're going for a nuclear, I would really suggest using a suppressor. Suppressor will definitely keep you alive a lot longer. You'll be hidden from the mini map and enemies won't know where you're at when you're firing your weapon. And this is very important as well if you're trying to stay stealthy and you want to stay on your streak and you don't want to die. So I'd recommend putting a suppressor. Now, stock is a really good attachment idea as well for any weapon that you're using. Some weapons don't need it, but even if it doesn't need it, sometimes stock will actually help you get more mobility even more, and just that little bit of percentage of the ability to strafe left and right will actually give you a better advantage in a gunfight because you're going to make it so much harder for enemies to kill you while you're in a 1v1 situation. So for perks, Ghost is a huge one. If you're trying to get a nuclear, you need to be as stealthy as possible, and Ghost allows you to be immune from UAVs. I'm a solo player, so I don't have teammates to rely on to take down the UAVs for me, and then I'm mostly going against parties of 3 or 4 or maybe even full 6-mans, and they're constantly calling UAVs, so it doesn't really help that I'm going to be shown on the radar if I'm trying to get a nuclear. And then Scavenger is one that I highly recommend because you don't want to have to pick up a different weapon because it might be something with a funky attachment, or it might be a weapon that you're not used to using. So that's why I really encourage using Scavenger, because it allows us to keep using our preferred weapon. Now, Hardwired is definitely a key perk that I always use, and most of the time you're not going to see me running without it. And the reason why is because look how much stuff that it actually prevents you from being affected by. And I have noticed a difference that when I am using Hardwired, I die less, but then when I'm not using Hardwired, I die more, if that makes sense. And then awareness is definitely a key perk as well, because it allows you to hear footsteps coming from any direction, so you'll be ready for the enemy, and you're going to be well aware of when an enemy's coming at you, so you're gonna die less and you're gonna learn to anticipate when the enemies are coming through. So that's always a good perk to have. Now, if you don't have headsets, I still recommend using it. You can plug in some headphones into the back of your TV. It'll still work. It doesn't matter what headphones you use. It could be like Beats by Dre, Apple earbuds, those work just fine. And then put on awareness, you're going to hear a huge difference. And if you guys want to learn how to maximize your sound whoring ability, sound whoring is basically just listening to footsteps and making it easier for you to listen to footsteps. I'll leave a link to the video in the description of a video where I go in depth about how to sound whore, so you guys can learn that a little bit more. These are the core perks that I use when going for nuclears, and then suppressor and maybe stock for any gun that I want to use. But anyways, guys, so today I'm going to be starting up some Domination. This is going to be a private match, just for the sake of teaching you guys my strategy. All right, so while the game loads, I'm just going to give you a quick explanation of why Domination is one of the best game modes to get your nuclears on. Now, reason number one is because when you capture 2 flags out of 3, that means that you are going to know like where the enemy is going to be spawning from. So I'm going to be explaining to you guys how I patrol certain areas of the maps to get my nuclears, and this is going to be something that a lot of people of different skill levels can follow. So pretty much if you spawn from C, I'm not going to cap the C flag because the game is going to end, and you know, just for the purpose of teaching you guys what I do is, so generally after we cap C, you want to cap B. Okay, the reason why I want to cap B is because we want to make sure that they only spawn from A. So most of the time you'll have teammates already on B, so that would be really nice, right? So we cap B, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come back around this way, or you could have jumped around that ledge, it doesn't matter. Come around this way. Now, before you come here, you always want to head glitch here and pre-aim right here. You know why? Because sometimes enemies will be coming like straight out from that gate, and you don't want to be caught by surprise while you're already running out here. So first, you want to make sure that everything's safe. You know, wait a couple seconds. If nothing happens, then you run. You want to quickly make your way like over here. Now, the reason why is because when you're running out here, you leave yourself vulnerable to get shot by whoever is already head glitching this ledge. So when you get here, what I like to do is I like to jump on this ledge, and then I like to pre-aim, see if there's any action in there. And then I come in through here, check your corners, make sure no one's camping, head glitch right here. Now, usually I like to hang out over here, not too long though, just to make sure that everything's okay, that I can proceed with my strategy. Now, if everything's clear, you want to advance over here, move behind this truck. Now, you want to be careful of this area because this is the A flag. Remember, the enemy has the A flag, and they're going to be spawning from there, from here, and there. Basically, everywhere around around the A flag. So you want to be mindful of this. This is a line of sight right there. But I don't really stay and stick around right here in this particular spot. So what I do when I'm coming from the tunnel is I'll run all the way over here, I'll slide, and then I'll clear out the area here, because typically you might flank somebody from over here. There's going to be an enemy right here, most likely head glitching like they usually do. They clear the area. Now this is where the strategy begins. So you what you want to do is you want to make rounds. So you're basically going to be patrolling this area, right? So we just pretend we have C and B. Okay, there's going to be enemies who are going to be jumping on the flag and laying down over there trying to capture B. So you're going to be mindful of this line of sight. And there's going to be enemies over here down as well. And then there's going to be enemies up there on the second floor. That's the 3 main points that you want to be mindful of. Okay, now what you want to do to maximize your kills is always pay attention to your minimap. Your minimap is so important when getting nuclears or just staying alive in general and getting high streaks. And also paying attention to your kill feed. Paying attention to your kill feed will let you know when you should suspect people spawning from the enemy spawn point. So let's say I kill someone right here, right? I kill someone right there. I'm looking at the kill feed. He's already in the kill feed. Then that tells me that I should turn around, and I usually head glitch these stairs, and then I just check their spawn. And most of the time they're going to be spawning literally right in front of you right here, or they come here sometimes as well, and then sometimes they spawn in through there depending on how or where your teammates are on the minimap, because they might push the spawn somewhere. And that's an important thing I want to note too. Do not push the spawns. Like for example, if you go in this area right here, more likely than not, they're going to spawn in the cave over here, or the tunnel, whatever you call it. And that's not going to be a good thing, because when you're in this area over here and they're coming in from the tunnel, that means that the spawns have been disrupted, and then they're going to be spawning from in here and over there, and you're just going to get flanked and sandwiched, and it's not going to be a good idea. So never triple cap either. Triple capping is just going to flip the spawns, and you're going to have a hard time, you know, having map flow and control. So yeah, like I said, I head glitch these stairs, get some kills, and then I come back over here, check on the flag. Anybody's there, get some kills. Kills right here, kills right there. Now, let's say that the enemy team is onto you and they want to kill you now, because they say, okay, this guy's just destroying us. Let's get this guy out of this spot. So what you want to do is, of course, you want to check the area, make sure it's clear. Then I just jump up here, make sure everything's clear first. Make sure everything's clear in that room. Then you want to pre-aim when you're going down here, because enemies are going to be spawning in from here. They're going to be running through that door. You may have seen this before in my Razorback Nuclear, where I do this. And then I chill behind this desk here, or this table. Now, you guys are probably saying like, oh, you're just camping behind the table. Well, you know what? If the enemy team keeps coming back to me and they're just stupid enough to keep running through that door and I'm getting easy kills, then how can you blame me for that? You know what I mean? It's their choice and I'm just playing to the way the map is flowing. Like I said, it's all about map flow and adapting to the game. So they're going to be coming through here and then you get overwhelmed again, right? So you're coming back over here. Right? Let's say there's multiple enemies coming after you. Then I like to hide behind this little bed here for extra cover. Kill them again, then come back out. Maybe you want to push back in and then pre-aim again. Do the same thing all over again and then come back out. And I'll show you an alternate way you can get out of this if there's too many enemies and you're just afraid of, you know, dying. So you come in here, pre-aim again. And then you make sure your left and right is clear before you come up and then pre-aim. And then behind this rock, they're going to be coming from this side and this side. So you can either just chill here for a little bit and then come back behind this and head glitch. Come back out through here, pre-aim, take people out over here, and then come back to this area right here. I'm going to switch now to what I would do if we had the A and B flag. Okay, so now let's pretend that the game is just starting again, or this is the second round and you're on like a 15 streak and you don't know where to establish yourself now just because we're on different sides of the map. So what I do is I capture the A flag at the beginning of the round. And then what I like to do is come through this tunnel here. You got to be quick about it too. And then every time you approach a room, you want to ADS and you want to make sure the room is clear. So approach with caution. Sometimes there's going to be enemies coming through here already there. They beat you to the spot. Check your corners. Now right here, this is step one. You want a head glitch right here. That's a line of sight. That's a line of sight. And then that's a line of sight as well. You can also do it from this side, but it makes it harder to see this line of sight. So if everything's clear and you can move and approach this rock right here, head glitch this rock. There's going to be a line of sight there. The line of sight here is hard to see, but there's a line of sight there. Coming from this rock, you want to pre-aim, right? And then you want to hug the wall over here. You don't want to play this slow. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes only. And then there's going to be enemies spawning from there. And then here you got a nice line of sight. But you want generally you want to stay like around like right here in this area right here. You're going to get a really good line of sight from patrolling this little rock right here. And then you're going to pre-aim because there's going to be enemies coming in through here. Now, depending on the map flow of the game and where I see enemies on the minimap, let's say we have a VSAT. VSAT is so important, aka the hater. If you see them, the farthest I'll go is probably like right here. I'll head glitch this little slope right here, and they're gonna be spawning in from there, up here, and over there. And then maybe if you're lucky, you might even get some kills of enemies running from the C flag into the middle of the map, so you can flank them right here. Then I just come back over here. I don't want to push too deep because they're gonna spawn right behind us over there. So I would typically just patrol this area, hug the walls over here. They're going to be coming through here. You can pre-aim, kill them. Now, one thing I do not recommend doing is coming over here and killing them. You know, you might know that they're spawning from here and you might get all, you know, a little excited because you see so many people. But what happens when you're challenging too many people is that if you're shooting one person, the other enemy next to that person that you're shooting is already aiming at you and you're dead. So I never come in this area unless I'm feeling great. So if you have the skill set and you have the confidence, then go ahead, come through in this area. And I never come in this area either. So basically on this side of the map, I generally don't recommend coming around this area because it's just too hard to predict where the spawns are coming from, because they literally spawn from anywhere and there's too many places that enemies could be walking from because of all of these like rocks and all that stuff. So it just makes it complicated. So I never really stay in this area, basically where the sun is shining. I don't stay in that area. So let's go through the strategy again because I missed a few things. So from here, like I said, we're gonna come here, right? Pre-aim, nothing there. Pre-aim, nothing there. Boom. We're gonna be checking for spawns right there. And then you can also come over here. There's going to be enemies over here and then trying to capture the flag over there at B. But you don't want to have your back turned too long because what happens like when they're spawning over there, you have your back turned and you're dead. So what I do is I come up here and then I have this really great vantage point of enemies spawning in there and there as well. So you don't want to stay in one area too long. Like, you don't want to stay up here too long, because while you're too busy shooting enemies that are coming there's going to be enemies spawning in from there too. So you have to be really quick about how you go about patrolling the area. So same thing again, come through over here, right? Over here, boom. All right, now let's say that the enemies are really onto you now and they're just focused on taking you out. So what I do is I just take a step back. We're back at step 2. Run back over here as fast as possible. Now we're back at step 1. Head glitch, line of sight on top of that log, line of sight, and line of sight as well. So knowing the line of sights are very important, because like right there, it's really hard to see. And sometimes enemies will creep around the corner and they'll try to get you by surprise. But by knowing the lines of sight, you're not going to get caught by surprise. So that's why I teach you guys lines of sight, so you guys know which areas to pay attention to. All right, so that's basically my strategy. So that would be if we had the A and B flag, and then the first round was if we had the C and B flag. So I hope this video helps out in some way, shape, or form. I know getting nuclears is a tough task to do, but realistically, when you run a strategy, you improve your overall success rate, rather than, you know, freestyling a gameplay and just running around with your head cut off with no plan. Every time I get a nuclear, there's always a plan that I'm running, a little strategy, and it helps me survive a lot longer. So that's just the reality of it, guys. You have to play smart, especially if you don't have the gun skill or you're new to Call of Duty. Utilizing strategies will help you improve your overall Call of Duty IQ. I know that sounds really nerdy, but it really does, and it makes you a better and improved player. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you're new for more Call of Duty content. And remember, let me know in the comments if you guys want me to continue this series. I'll be happy to do so. Hopefully you guys enjoy these longer and more detailed videos. And yeah, that's all I had to say, guys. Once again, Happy New Year's, and I'll be back. Yes.